Okay, Haley, first off, let's look at some of the formatting and MLA issues that exist with a paper. Um, First of all, up in the upper left-hand corner, what I'll be looking for is your full name right here. And then underneath, I'll want my name. And then below that, English Language Arts 3. And finally, the date that the paper is due. And for everyone, that is going to be the 20th of October 2014. So the way that you'll write that is numerical 20, spell out October, and then 2014 over here. I'll also be looking for the page numbers, so it'll have your last name, page number 1, your last name, page number 2, and so on until you reach the end of your essay. Now I will say you also need a title. If you look at the examples that were given to you on the assignment sheet, you can see that I'm looking for something that adds a little bit of interest, but yet still relates to the novel itself. Your first sentence is pretty much great, so there's not really a lot I would do about that. In his novel Moby Dick, Herman Melville presents the characteristics of the dark side of American romanticism, including evil and insanity. And if you're going to put the power of darkness, you could say, and the power of darkness, or relating to the power of darkness. I will say you do need to italicize the name of the book. Okay. Your summary looks good. And then the thesis is pretty close. The only thing I would add is that the author is, oh no, never mind, you have it here. I just got ahead of myself. So Captain Ahab considers the white whale. Moby Dick is evil, as mentioned, the author's use of diction, imagery, and symbolism. Perfect. Now it looks like maybe you had some confusion over diction or didn't have a chance to finish diction. Just as a little heads up, diction is just word choice. So you're looking for words that have a strong connotative language. For instance, he calls Moby Dick a inscrutable malice, meaning that he's a mystery, a giant mystery, something that's fierce. He also refers to him and says that he would travel to perdition's flames and back. That could be diction or imagery, depending on which one you want to choose to use it for. If you choose to use it for diction, you could say he chooses to call it perdition's flames because he's trying to make a reference to hell in a very serious way. Remember that I am looking for 3 examples of each of the literary elements in each paragraph. So I would like to see 3 examples of diction with the in-text citations. The in-text citation is simply just a parenthesis with a page number that you drew that from. So say your sentence said something like, Melville uses diction to portray Moby Dick is evil through the eyes of Captain Ahab. And then you would say, at one point Captain Ahab refers to Moby Dick as an inscrutable malice. And then you would put that in quotation marks. Directly following the quotation marks, you would put in parentheses 285. You don't even need to write page, just 285. And then if you were going to continue the sentence, you would put comma, inscrutable malice, meaning that Moby Dick was a gigantic whale of a huge mystery to Captain Ahab and one that he felt he needed to eliminate. Then you would either put your period or continue your sentence. But that would be an example of how you would properly incorporate your in-text citations along with your use of diction. Now, as far as your imagery goes, you have some good examples as far as using the terms crooked jaw and the jaws of death. Definitely provides an image for us as the reader, because we see that Moby Dick is huge and his jaw is crooked, possibly from past indiscretions. What I would ask again is that you include your in-text citation. You don't necessarily need to put those quotes there to put says Starbuck the way you normally would, because remember, you're introducing these things. So he uses imagery in his novel to convey the message of Moby Dick as evil. He is constantly being portrayed as evil in the eyes of all men. Who is he here? So you would want to write the name Moby Dick. And then as the author, you might say, in fact, Moby Dick is referred to, or his crooked jaw and or the jaws of death are referred to by even the characters who believe Moby Dick is sane, or who are sane, excuse me. But you do need to include your page number. Corkscrew, again, is a good piece of imagery. This fantails like a split jib is good because it's talking about the sails and how they whip around Again, I do need the in-text citations in order for that to work. And then as far as symbolism goes, I don't actually see any parts of this that you've taken directly from the text. You're talking about Ahab's leg causing the loss of his sanity. That's great. All you need to do is just find a place in the piece where they talk about him being peg-legged or being dismasted. And I know those do exist in the piece, but use that. So the loss of Ahab's leg left him, and then you could put in quotes dismasted and put your page number, ultimately leading to the loss of his sanity. And then continue talking about symbolism, whether it be the gold, the prison wall, whatever it is, with your in-text citations. You also need a transition here. So you may say, in addition to the use of diction and imagery, Melville also uses symbolism to portray the white whale as an evil beast. Something along that lines. Your conclusion then would talk about the things you've already talked about, really. You're going to restate your thesis. So if you see up here, your thesis is Ahab considers the white whale Moby Dick as evil, as mentioned in the author's use of diction, imagery, and symbolism. So that when you restate it, you may say, using diction, imagery, and symbolism, the author is able to demonstrate Captain Ahab's consideration that the white whale, Moby Dick, is evil. So you've basically taken the same idea and restated it. After that, you're going to give us a brief account of the things that you discussed. So you may say something along the lines of, throughout the course of the novel, we see that Moby Dick is described as large and battered and beastly through the eyes of Captain Ahab, and then leave us with a final thought. I think I told you guys during our face-to-face session that at the end of the novel, Moby Dick capsizes the boat and kills everyone but Ishmael, the narrator. So you may say that Captain Ahab's obsession with the white whale and his madness drew him to his own death. If you have any questions, this paper, like I said, is not due until the 20th, so you have lots of time to make corrections. I will be assigning some other assignments to you to be working on at the same time, but you have more than enough time if you'd like to come and speak to me in person about this, or if you have any concerns about what it is that you need to change on your paper. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.